Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Corey back with another video. How much budget do I need for this campaign? Maybe it's a branded search campaign, performance max campaign, standard shopping campaign, etc. So this is a very, very common question, so I wanted to address it. So it is a little bit complicated in some cases. In other cases, pretty simple if we don't have a lot of historical data. So first, Google's recommendation. They usually say 3 times your cost per conversion, or CPA, however you want to call it, cost per lead, cost per sale, etc. Different to different people. And they say if you're a complete beginner, $10 to $50 per day. Of course, if your average order values are much higher than that, that's not going to be a good starting point. But I don't blame Google. They don't know anything about your business or your business goals when they're writing this documentation. So take it with a huge grain of salt. Most people, if they just need like a simple answer from me, and then for whatever reason, I'll usually just let them know. I wouldn't shoot for 3x. There's a reason Google's obviously incentivized to get you to spend more. Also, they want you to get enough budget to get a lot of data to make their optimizations a little bit better in the long term. Usually, I'm going to lean more conservatively and say at least 1x your cost per acquisition, especially for higher average order value products that are in a given campaign that we're talking about allocating budget for. So you can, if you just want a super simple answer, 1x your cost per conversion for the given products in a given campaign. Now, of course, which products are in there, and if those AOVs vary quite a lot, this will also be a whole nother discussion on how we want to structure your campaigns, which we won't get into today, but those are considerations, and those will impact this decision. Now, the better answer here, and the answer that if I had more time to give details, is essentially we want to back into this based on the goals that you have for those given products, as well as seasonality, how quickly you want to get data, your tolerance for risk. Those are all going to be factors that normally in a consulting call, I would kind of walk through those, and I'd get a better idea of getting a more integrated approach using those factors into what's a reasonable starting budget that we will then change, of course, at some point once we get some data back. But essentially using backing into a daily budget using a sales goal is usually going to be a much more reasonable start for most businesses. And of course, in the back of my mind, I'm also taking into consideration, I want this algorithm to get about 30 conversions in a normal 30-day period that isn't promotional, that isn't holiday, that isn't a very outlier in terms of performance type of month. So what we do is we essentially take our one divided by our conversion rate for a given product or given product category that we're targeting in this campaign. That will let us know our number of clicks it takes normally to get a conversion. And then we'll take a look historical data of cost per clicks for those given product categories, and we'll multiply that by the number that we got. So that'll give us a rough idea of how much does it normally cost to get a conversion. Again, close to that 1x cost per acquisition. So if we know we want to get 50 sales a month, well, then we need to obviously calculate using that number of how much does it cost to get a conversion on average to get us to 50 in a monthly period. So that's normally how we would go about it. It's pretty simple math, but you don't always have the historical data to work with, so that's a factor. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.